Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to create a plan that actually helps you accomplish your goals. I'm Lisa, and I help business owners reduce their workload by at least 10 hours every week without needing to try harder or be more disciplined. Should you set goals? I can tell you, when I start working with clients, the first thing we do is set goals because you need to know what you're aiming for. How in the world will you know you got there if you don't know what you're shooting for? And it helps us to be realistic. What can be accomplished in the time frame versus what would we like to accomplish in the rest of our life? So setting goals helps us figure out where do we want to be and by when. So here's a couple examples of goals that my clients have set as we talk through a 4 to 6 month coaching program. One goal was he wanted to be home for dinner with his family at least 3 times a week. And this was an increase from once every other week. Another one, the goal was to reduce work hours from 70 hours a week to 55. 55, still a lot of hours, but not as many as 70. Not answering email in the evening. How many times are you on the couch answering email? Or my favorite, I have a client who will go to the bathroom with his cell phone, and then while he's in there, answer email and hope no one realizes he's been gone a really long time. So if it's important that you spend quality time with your family and your friends, being on your phone on the couch isn't doing that. So one of the goals for one of my clients was not answering email in the evening, regardless of where he was. And then one of my favorite goals, and again, I don't have favorite clients and all goals are important to that client, but one of my favorite was the goal of feeling like she had all the time she needed each day to do what's important to her. Now, that's a harder goal to measure. I'm not going to lie. Dinner 3 times with family, it's easy to track. Reduce work hours, not answering email in the evening, like it's either you did or you didn't. That idea of having the space to do whatever's most important to you every day is harder to track, but boy, isn't it an amazing goal to have. I've convinced you need goals. Awesome. Now, where in the world do you start? It depends. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that that's my answer to a lot of things. It depends. It depends on you. It depends on your strengths. It depends what you believe in. My favorite way of setting goals is to do a vision board combined with inspired action. A vision board is just a visual representation of your goals, and it can look a lot of different ways. A couple of years ago, my vision board was a bunch of Post-it notes, and I used a work to zero methodology. So I would look at how many clients did I want to work with in January, and each client had a Post-it note. And then once they became an actual client, I was able to put their name on it. And so once I could fill in all the Post-it notes with names, then I knew I had hit my goal for the month of January. And I laid out the entire year. So my wall was covered in a lot of Post-it notes. However, it was helpful because I could see how far I was visually towards each goal. Another way you can do a vision board if you're exceptionally artistic is you can create a collage. You can cut things out of magazines. You can use puffy glue and glitter and all sorts of things to create whatever it is that works best for you. One of my clients lives here in the Northeast, and she wanted to move at some point to California. She knew she wanted to travel. And on her vision board, she actually had a map of the United States. And she had a little piece of yarn that went from the east to the west. And it was on there for a couple years. And she moved to California. And when you look at where she moved, it is almost exactly where the end of that piece of yarn was. Another way that you can do a vision board is just to digitally grab pictures that represent your goals and use them as a wallpaper for your desktop or as a screensaver for your phone. I'll get mine blown up. I have a great printer nearby, and she'll blow one up and I can put it on the back of my door so that when I close my office door, I can see it while I'm working. But I felt like it was missing something. I'm looking at it every day, but am I actually working towards it? That's where the inspired action comes in. With each of the goals on my vision board, I then have one small action step that I can take consistently, not every day for every goal, but consistent inspired action. Something that I know when I complete that action, it will get me closer and closer to the goal. Setting goals is one thing, but then how do we move those things into fruition? We can set it, but then something has to happen for it to actually come true. And that's where you can use AWE, the AWE framework. A is awareness. Are you setting the right goal? Now, it's right for you. It doesn't mean it has to be right for everyone, but what's right? What is it that you want? Why do you want it? Like, you want to dig past the first couple questions to actually dig into, okay, here's the goal I want and why. Like, this is what drives me towards this goal. That's your awareness piece. Then you get into the W piece, the work piece. This is where the structure comes in. This is where the inspired action steps occur. What are you going to do to accomplish this goal? And I say, what are you going to do to accomplish this goal? But maybe the only step you have is to lay out the plan and then delegate the pieces, and someone else is doing the work to help you accomplish that goal. However, something has to happen in the middle to be able to get to the end where your goal is accomplished. And then finally, E is for evaluation. How do we know we accomplished the goal? So many times we'll set a goal, hit it, and keep on working without even recognizing the milestone that it was when we hit the goal. I have a client right now who hit her financial goals for the year in the beginning of the third quarter. And the first thing she did was just reset her goal. Well, let's stop and celebrate that you hit it 4 months early, and then go ahead and reset the goal if that's something that you want to do and celebrate. Also, when you set the goal and you create the action, the work part, you're either going to accomplish it or you're not. And either place, there is a huge opportunity for learning. And that's happening in the E phase, the evaluation phase. What are the things you did that worked? Let's double down and do more of them. What didn't work? How can we tweak it so that we can get better results as we continue on? Many times we'll set a goal, we'll create a plan, we'll put our head down and grind through the plan without realizing that we're doing a lot of work, but it's not getting us the results we were hoping to get to help us accomplish the goal. That happens in the evaluation phase. Sometimes when we set goals, myself included, we're influenced by outside factors. Maybe you'll be at a networking event and the speaker's talking about setting goals and you're brainstorming with your table about some goals, and it's normal to be influenced by what other people are saying or doing. Or you read a book and you're like, oh, well, I want whatever that is that person who wrote the book has. And so you set goals to help you get there. And that's all great, because professional development is professional development. Personal development is personal development. All of that makes you a more well-rounded, more educated, better human. And you still get to decide who you want to continue to be. What goals really matter to you? So this takes something like an income goal. For coaches, almost always the first goal for a coach, when you say, how much do you want to earn a month? Coaches will say $10,000. It does not mean that they have thought through, what does $10,000 a month mean? Or why do they want $10,000 a month? What are they reinvesting that money? Are they using it to fund retirement? Like, are they starting a second business? Like, what's that number? It's just, I want a 5-figure month. Or a weight loss goal. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose whatever. Like, all of a sudden, you're just throwing out ideas or numbers. And maybe you have thought about it and you want to tie it into a why. If it's an income goal, why? What's that number mean to you? My number is it'll sound random. Like, it's not it's not 100,000 or 1 million or 6, like, it's a very specific number because it is to fund very specific things. Your goal needs to dig in to your why, whatever that may be. If you're ready right now to start accomplishing some goals, here are a couple quick things that you can do. 1, define the goal. No, this seems silly, but really dig in and define it. You cannot hit a moving target. Where are you working towards? What does that look like? Really lay it out. So that's your awareness phase. Lay out your goal, What is it? Why does it matter to you? Then the second thing, as you lay your goal out, if you want to accomplish it, you need a plan. So figure out what are the inspired action steps that need to be taken to accomplish this plan, and who's the best person to take those actions, because maybe it's not you. And then thirdly, put in some benchmarks and some times to evaluate. That's the third step of the all process. How do you make sure that you're on the right path and that you can course correct as needed if you start to veer off the path a little bit? Or maybe you're halfway through the completion of your goal and you recognize it's not the right goal. That happens in the evaluation stage, that when you can figure that out. Maybe your goal was, I want to create XYZ income. And as you're working towards that, you realize, hey, time freedom is really what's more important to me. And so you can shift your goal at any time. They're your goals. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe, and then get ready to watch more time management goodies as they pop right here on your screen.